Slide Lake. The last time I was here, it was this cold. Woohoo! Slide Lake. What a beautiful day. So I'm out on one of those runs where you just want it to last forever, keep going faster and faster, but also stop and look around. This is the first time on this trail. We are camping at Slide Lake for the holiday weekend, and I'm out exploring a new trail. Part of my, there's a airplane. Part of my goal of exploring new trails this year. Just unbelievable morning. It's really warm, not as cold as February, but man, what an amazing morning. Out in the Gros Ventre wilderness. And I think I'm gonna go right along here. This is the type of terrain where you can kind of, once you get up high, you can almost just kind of, hey, let's go there. It's pretty easy travel, either on the secondary trail or just off trail. It's pretty easy right now. It's not overgrown. Look at this. The Tetons. So to get your bearings, there's the Tetons. Further north is Yellowstone. Further south, tucked behind all this mountain here, is Jackson Hole. Here's the slide that happened in the 1920s. This part of the mountain slid. It's a mudslide that created Slide Lake that eventually flooded out one of the towns further to the west. And I'm gonna jump up on this rock and talk to you guys. Wow. Crazy. So before I forget, 2 videos ago, I expressed my excitement that one of my athletes had the first race since the pandemic came down, and just wanted to give a report back. She won. This was a race in just south of Moab, a 50K, which ended up being about 34 miles, 6,000 feet of climbing. Her goal was sub 6 hours, which she would have hit if it was a 50K, but she was 6:04. So just under 6 hours, and great first race. Great to just to kind of get the cobwebs out and get the race legs back into you. So that was great. But what I want to talk about today is I had a question a while ago to talk about recovery, and again, it was a real general question, but I'm going to talk specifics today. And so 3 days ago, I had a really hard interval workout on trail, and six by 3 minutes, so super hard. The last 2 days I had guided runs at the resort, so these were 90-minute super easy runs, so I got in really good recovery, but still 3 hours within the 2 days of running, but super easy. Both of these runs I fasted before, so I didn't eat anything before the runs because I knew they were going to be nice and easy for me, and just a good fat burning endurance runs on trail. And then yesterday I fasted all the way until 3 p.m. when I got to the campsite. And then I ate a lot. I was really hungry, and I've mentioned before, when you're getting recovery after a hard workout, it's important to really notice when you start to get hungry, because that's your body repairing and rebuilding, and that's the recovery process that we want after a hard workout. So for dinner last night, I had about maybe 3 big servings of greens, avocado, just a big heaping mound of salad with avocado, great salad dressing, and lots of greens with that, and 3 or 4 servings of grilled chicken. So it was really tasty, and I ate a lot. I was hungry. Got up this morning, actually had 3 breakfast burritos with potatoes, beans, and some scrambled eggs, and had 3 of them. And then started this run about maybe an hour after. And I was expecting just to kind of chug along, but I felt great. I felt amazing, like almost like I didn't eat. And that's from all the recovery that I got these last 2 days, leading into almost kind of like doing a carbo load before this run. And this first climb was 1,000 feet in 2 miles. So lots of vertical, but I felt probably the best I felt in a long time. So it really, the combination of the intervals and everything I've been doing. But again, what we're talking about today is the importance of recovery after a hard workout. I like to tell my athletes is that hard runs, hard work, hard intervals, training hard has no value without proper recovery. We've got to treat recovery just as important as the hard running. And just on the opposite, if you're always running easy, you're never really going to progress. So we need both, and we need to treat them properly and equally. So, all right, I'm going to keep exploring, and I'll come back at you. So like we talked, getting hungry is a great sign when you're getting recovery. And if you can look back and realize you're not getting a ton of recovery, and therefore your appetite is kind of suppressed, this can be a sign of overtraining. One symptom of overtraining is no appetite. So if this is starting to happen, or you look back after this video and, hey, I'm not getting a ton of recovery, or I'm always doing moderate intensity, it's another sign of plateauing or overtraining. Again, and realizing that if you're not getting super hungry, that's a good sign that you might need to get more recovery. And when you do, this is also a huge clue when you really start to get hungry. It's a sign through your recovery that your fitness is really starting to shine. There you can see Slide Lake headed down there. The other point I want to drive home today is don't underestimate how much you need to eat. If you're putting in a lot of volume, a lot of hard stuff, and you're not experiencing this recovery or getting hungry during your recovery, you may not be eating enough. Okay, so that's a key point here, is that a lot of times if you're not eating enough, your body's going to hang on to it, hang on to what you do eat, and not really realize that fuel and hang on to it because it doesn't think it's going to get enough. So don't underestimate how much you need to eat. I ate a lot yesterday, way more than I was used to, and a lot this morning, way more than I'm used to before a run like this, and I feel great. It's because I got the recovery and I'm honoring that hunger. Okay, so right there's the slide, the mudslide that we saw up high that created that lake. It's a little muddy looking because we're still getting a lot of runoff, and we can't see our camp spot, but we're right on the lake, Slide Lake. Another reason you could not be getting hungry or appetite's low is dehydration. Now that we're in summer, if you're getting chronically dehydrated, that's going to suppress your appetite too. So maintain hydration, which will help your body to get naturally hungry based on your training load. That's also the key in racing ultras, is if you're getting dehydrated, you're not going to feel hungry. If you don't eat, you're not going to finish, okay? Because at the race, it's all about fueling. Okay, shoes. I brought to me shoes today. Where's the sun? I brought the Arc'teryx Norvan SL. I knew I was gonna kind of get terrain like this. I'm actually surprised at how good the trail is. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I was expecting a really faint trail, a lot of uneven terrain. So I brought the Arc'teryx because they're low to the ground, they're light, they're nimble, and I can just kind of pick my way through the spots that's really hard to see the trail. So it was a perfect choice today. This is east, this is west, and through this corridor, this is a Native American corridor. A lot of the Indians of this area were nomads and would move around based on time of year, based on wildlife, and this is the corridor that they would use going further east to like Lander and Du Bois, or into the Tetons in summer weather. Okay, so this is, you kind of feel like you're out there running with them. As you continue to do hard training and you're approaching, let's say maybe a month out from a big race, and you start to taper, or what I call start the peaking process, where you're reducing your volume but maintaining some intensity. So the reduction in volume is giving you the recovery you need to be fresh for the race. Maintaining some level of intensity helps you keep your form. And in doing this process, again, what I call the peaking process, is that as you get this 2 to 3 week recovery leading into your big race, while maintaining that intensity, your body's recouping, rejuvenating, getting the recovery. And that's when you really want to start to notice when you get hungry. If you're not, you might not be getting enough rest leading into the race. So that's the number one clue that you might be still be doing too much if you're not getting hungry. Second thing I look for is as you start to get that hunger, and it'll be obvious, it'll be like you need to tear down your house to find food, but you might also, as you continue to eat and rebuild, you notice that you might drop quite a bit of weight all at once. It almost might seem like overnight. And everybody's amount of weight will be different based on their own personal situation and where they're coming from with the running. But this big drop in weight is a good sign. Again, it's your body's peaking and getting ready for the race. So look for that once we get back into racing and as you peak towards a big race. And since we're not racing a lot right now, and if you notice, you go through this process of maybe peaking where you get super hungry, you would drop a lot of weight all at once as you're recovering. This could, again, this is a sign your body is peaking. And if you're not racing, this could be a good reason or a clue for you to maybe switch up with what you're doing, as your body needs a new stimulus, a different way of training. Maybe you've done base building and now you need to go into a lot of speed, or you've done a lot of intensity, you might need to go back to base building. So it's, again, it's a good sign that your body just needs a change. Our bodies always adapt, and we always need to keep shocking the body to continue to improve. My feet just got soaked. That's where the run was, back behind all that. Man, the water's cold. Good for recovery legs. Really cold. Thanks for watching.